Hi everyone, I'm Jeff. I was just outside enjoying the day and doing a little bit of shed hunting. Saw a few deer. But while I was out here, I started thinking about a topic that I could talk about. And I'm going to name this, Do As I Say, Not As I Do. Now, I've been shooting about 43 years now, but I'm self-taught. When I started shooting, there were no clubs I could go to, especially this part of Ontario. There were no clubs, there were no mentors that I could learn from. There was no one that I could watch. There was no one to teach me. There was no archery in schools. Obviously no internet, no DVDs, no videos, no video machines, nothing like that available to me. I had a copy of the Archer's Bible by Fred Bear, and I looked at the pictures to try to figure out what was going on. Fortunately, I played a lot of sports, and I was able to integrate aspects from other sports into archery, things about follow through and using your core to do the work, things like that. But it took a long time. I had a really long learning curve. What I see people do now is they watch me shoot quickly and they try to emulate the same thing. I'm shooting instinctive, so I must shoot fast, they think to themselves. Well, Jeff shoots fast. Yes, I do shoot quickly. But as I said, I've had 43 years to develop my shot sequence, and it's become very fluid now. The thing about shooting quickly is when you shoot quickly and you draw quickly, you don't have time to engage the proper muscles. It's like when you're working out and you're doing sit-ups. If you're cranking sit-ups out, like 1, 2, 3, 4, you're using momentum and you're not able to focus and target on the muscles you're actually trying to engage. If you were to do a sit-up and take 5 seconds to do one sit-up, you'd really see that muscle engage, and you'd have time to focus on that muscle group you're trying to work on and engage it for that purpose. It's the same drawing a bow. If I'm drawing a bow quickly, I'm not going to engage the proper muscles I want. I'm going to get arm into it, I'm going to get momentum into it, things like that. Things that shouldn't happen. When you're learning how to shoot, one of the biggest things is attaining that proper back tension, things I've talked about in other videos. You want to start the draw, and I always tell this to Lucy, she tends to be a little quick too. Start the draw slowly and just take it slow. If you take that draw slowly, then you have time to engage the correct muscles in the correct order. Okay? By doing that, you can attain proper back tension, and you can then develop your shot sequence correctly and not develop bad habits. Okay? No, that's all I have to say, really. When a few years ago, I'd gotten sick, very ill. I had a rare muscular disease. It was a bone marrow disease. Ended up having chemotherapy and a stem cell transplant to save my life with it. But during the disease, I'd lost about 41 pounds of muscle, and I was extremely fit before I got sick. And losing that amount of muscle with that disease, when I started shooting again, when I started to recover, it was very difficult for me to shoot. All the shooting I did before was out the window. I didn't have the rhythm, the timing, I didn't have the strength, nothing. So in essence, I had to actually teach myself to shoot all over again. And the only way I accomplished that is by slowing everything down and getting back to square one and taking my time and learning how to shoot slowly. Okay, that's my example of why it's important. And why I think that, if you're starting to learn how to shoot archery, take your time. Draw very slowly so that you can engage those muscles properly. So that's my tip for today. And I'm just going to do a little bit more walking around, and everybody have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.